Prosecution, would you like to offer your closing statement?
Yes, Your Honor. May it please the court, opposing counsel, and members of the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come here tonight not only in the pursuit of truth, but in the pursuit of justice. Justice for a young girl who had never done any wrong in the world. Her life was not only lost, it was taken. Taken by a man who was too foolish and too reckless to even consider the possible dangers of his actions. Because of his actions, she is no longer here. This man is the defendant, Sam Oddington. Today, we, the prosecution, have proven our case. We have shown you that beyond any reasonable doubt, Mr. Oddington did commit reckless homicide in the case of Abby Oddington. We have shown you that Mr. Oddington bore a guilty conscience after the murder and even fled from Detective Cross. We have also shown you that medical examiner Jamie Johnson concluded, after an extensive autopsy report, that it was hydrocodone, the main ingredient in Tussinix, that was responsible for the death of the child, not pneumonia. And most importantly, we have shown that Sam Oddington was acting recklessly regardless of whether or not Dr. Max Payne ever told him to continue administering Tussinix. According to the defendant, he was told by Dr. Payne to continue the use of the medication at a cut dose as per the directions on Anna Lauren's prescription, which would call for 12 hours in between every dose. If Dr. Payne did in fact say this, then Mr. Oddington should have given Abby half a teaspoon every 12 hours instead of every 6 as he did. Mr. Oddington essentially doubled the amount that he claims Dr. Payne told him to administer, meaning that he acted recklessly in either scenario. However, this is all assuming that Dr. Payne lied in his testimony, that he really did give clearance for Mr. Oddington to continue the use of the narcotic on a 2-year-old child. We have shown you through the duration of this trial that Dr. Payne has more integrity and dedication in his career than that. This is validated by Exhibit 13, Mr. Oddington's own copy of Abby's patient intake form. We have shown you that nowhere on this form does it say that Tussinix was shown to Dr. Payne or even brought to his clinic. That means the only evidence that it was comes from the unreliable Sean Paget, who was fired because of his unreliability. Chronically tardy and forgetful, Mr. Paget testifies in court today not in a pursuit of justice, but in a pursuit of personal revenge against Dr. Payne. Because of this, nothing he says can be taken for truth. Dr. Pat Ebenstein, another witness for the defendant, whose testimony is filled with holes. Ebenstein claims the true reason for Abby's death is pneumonia. But how can Ebenstein be so confident if he was not there, or she was not there, excuse me, for either Dr. Payne's examination or the autopsy? As an agent of logic, I would hope that you members of the jury would not believe the audacious statement of this woman, a statement that has no grounds in logic or truth. Dr. Johnson is a relatively experienced doctor, the doctor who replaced Ebenstein after being mentored by her personally. If the state of new justice can accept his report, I hope that you can as well. Members of the jury, I ask you tonight to consider the facts. Consider what you have heard from both sides, and consider each witness individually and make the right choice in this case. If you have any concern for justice, then I know you will decide in favor of the prosecution today. If you believe the defendant shouldn't have given Tussinix to the child, and if you believe in the integrity of Drs. Payne and Jamison, if you believe in the intuition of an experienced detective, and most of all, if you believe in the truth, then you will side in favor of the prosecution and find Mr. Sam Oddington guilty of reckless homicide. Thank you.
I got clapped for that. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. I had to clap for that. Fantastic.